Hey everyone, this is Chris at Reptiles. Today I'm going to attempt to tackle a subject that's taboo, but I get asked this question far more than any other question as a reptile breeder. Are ball pythons lucrative? Is there actually money in raising ball pythons? I get asked this question all the time. So if you'd like to hear my perspective, please like and subscribe and hold on to right after this. Welcome back, everybody. The answer is yes, you can make money selling ball pythons. And the question is, should you? I'm going to go over 5 steps that I think are important as a ball python breeder. The first step, is why you want to do this. Is it a hobby? Is it a way to supplement your income? Or is it just dollar signs? If you are looking for dollar signs, there's a lot easier way to make money. You should just probably stop the video now and move on. If it's a hobby for you, especially if you're a hobby, this is a great thing I can talk about. Hobby, it's a great hobby that you can actually make some money or easily pay for itself. I have other hobbies that cost a lot more. This one don't cost me a cent. I'm actually making some money off of it. So if you think it that way, it's great. Is it a way to supplement your income? Yes. I believe you can actually make a living off this, but it's something you have to work towards. It's something that it's an attrition. You have to work. It's not going to happen overnight. I mean, maybe 5-10 years down the road, I might be making a lot of money. I think reptiles are quickly becoming popular. I think because we live in a fast-paced society, and dogs and cats are kind of getting harder to take care of. People have less time to take care of animals like that. Where reptiles are great, you take care of them. You can hold them when you want. You can also not hold them. So the question is, why do you want to do this? For me, it's a hobby. I enjoy it, and it's also a way to supplement my income because I have two other jobs, and one's I'm there all the time. The second one is just a small one I do for about a half hour after work, and then this one takes up a lot of my time too. It is not as much as my full-time job, but I spend many of my weekends and my weekdays, my nights, doing this. So if you're looking for quick money, this is not the job for you. This is not the thing for you. If you're looking for a hobby and also a way to supplement your income and eventually maybe work towards a living, this is a great thing for you. I mean, it's amazing. Step 2. Setup is not cheap. When you first start, you'll find out it's not cheap at all. It takes a lot of money to buy snakes. It takes a lot of money to buy racks. And I would recommend buying decent racks. I actually have ARS, but I didn't start with ARS, but I found out that ARS makes my life so much easier. I mean, I have 40 plus snakes. I know that it works well. It's easier for me to maintain. But if you want to start out, you can start with homemade racks. I tried that when I first started. Did not work for me. I went to sea serpents. Then I went to ARS, and the ARS makes my life so much better because it's so much easier to clean, so much easier to maintain. But there's nothing cheap about the setup. It takes a lot of money. It takes a lot of time. And just don't jump in. You don't need to buy 40 snakes right away. You need to buy a couple of snakes and work your way up to it, and make sure they're taken care of. Setup is not cheap. And you can also start small, get you a 5 rack or a 6 rack from Sea Serpents or someplace like that, or Reptile Basics. They're decent. I had their racks for a while and have babies and use the money for that to upgrade. See, the thing is about this business, do not think, don't think fast, think slow. And I've heard other people like Ozzy and all them, and also Billy Rose, quality in, quality out, take your time. I know that Ozzy, he likes to keep a certain amount, and he even sells certain ones. He likes to keep a certain amount just to produce great snakes, not bulk. And that's the main thing, is just kind of find what your number is and what you're comfortable with. You don't have to breed 300 snakes. If you want to do this full time, eventually you'll probably have to do more. But you need to find a starting zone. Step 3. This is a life commitment. This is not something I decide to do for a month and then change my mind. These snakes are going to live for 20 plus years. You just can't release them into the wild. It's a life commitment. I guess after 3 years you decide you're not going to do it. I guess you have to find someone to sell them off to. But if you're going to make it as a breeder, you're going to have to, this is not going to happen today, tomorrow. It's going to take 3 to 4 years. I've been doing this for about almost 4 years now, and I'm finally seeing some benefits from it. There's a guy, I think it's called Olympus Reptiles. I think last year was when he started actually making money from all his investments. So you got to think of it as almost like a 401k. You put your money into it, and slowly you'll start reaping some benefits. But you don't expect to take any money out of it for 3 to 5 years. Like I said, I just started getting money, and actually had a pretty good year. But I'm actually investing most of the money back into supplies. But if I did kept the money, I'd actually be I'd be pretty good chunk of change. And I make pretty good money where I work. Also with all my little side jobs and stuff I do. Number 3, I got a list here. Hold on. Feeding them is expensive. Most people overlook this. When you first start out, you can go to reptile, like a rat store online, and buy 40 rats, 30 rats, or pinkies. And especially when they're babies, they're a lot cheaper. When you start getting into the 20s, it gets really expensive. I had to breed my own rats, and that's a lot of work too. So you got to think about, I got all these reptiles to take care of. I have to clean their cages out, make sure they got water, check on them. I got to think about who am I going to breed to who, and if one gets sick, I have to deal with that. Go to the vet or try to help them. It's a lot of work. That's the main thing. It's a lot of work. People, it's a commitment. It's a job on top of my other job. I get to go do vacation, but that's the only time I really get to do anything is on vacation. I don't know if you ever watched Brian Barczyk. He goes on vacation, but he spends 90% of his time at his shop and his reptarium. It's a lifetime commitment. And rats are not cheap. Like I said, I breed my rats. I have to take care of my rats. I have to buy food for my rats. But for me, it's cheaper to raise them. And I found out, this is a touchy subject, but I found out if they get to a certain age, if I freeze them, it works a lot better for me, because about 60% of I'd say about 70% of my snakes will eat frozen. I have about 30 that are stubborn. They won't. I prefer feeding frozen. But if it's a lot more humane to CO2 them and put them in the freezer. Also, because it'll save you money for food. They eat a lot. The food's not cheap. Here in Yakima, I pay about $28 a bag. I do supplement them with vegetables and stuff that are left over. Anything that's going to go bad, I give it to them, vegetable-wise. And they eat a lot of different stuff. You can go buy pasta or something, just give them as a treat. But it's a commitment. It's a lot of work. And there's a certain point where I think we either have to breed them, or you got to realize you're going to spend a lot of money for rats. A lot of people don't think about food. And they only eat about once a week. That's good. But if you have 40 rats, 40 snakes, you're feeding 40 rats a week in different sizes. And then you start having babies. That's when it starts, you blow up. So you bred 10 females, and say 8 of them go. Well, they can have 6, it depends what size. They have 6 to 13 eggs in my experience. Actually about 5 to 13 eggs in my experience. And next thing you know, you have all these babies you got to feed. So you got to think ahead that way. That's why I'm constantly freezing different sizes of rats. And if I can get them to eat frozen, it's a lot easier for me because I have a whole freezer full of rats, and I know people get mad about this, but I mean, we eat meat, they eat meat, and it's to me it's a lot easier if you do CO2 them and they just go to sleep. Lastly, the thing is yes, you can make money selling ball pythons. There's a lot of money to be had, I believe. I haven't seen a lot of money, but I've seen a decent amount of money. And this year, it actually kind of shocked me how much money I made. But like I said, I'm going to invest most of that money back into it. But if I actually kept it, I was really shocked. So like if I wanted to not expand and just keep what I'm doing, I mean, I could actually have a pretty good year. But I wish you guys can see the 4 years it took me to get here, all the work, and my family, my kids helping me clean rat cages, all my wife helping me clean rat cages, how many trips to Tractor Factory or Tractor Factory, I think it's called. It's a place where I'll buy all my material for my rats, and how much cocoa and the cocoa bark I've went through, and how many different substrates I've tried, how many different incubators I've tried to build or buy. It's a lot of work, but the cool thing is to me it's a hobby and I enjoy it, so that's why it works out really well for me. For you, if it's just a money thing, it's not the right thing, because you have to love what you do, and I enjoy it. Like some people like to go fishing. Well, my thing is raising reptiles. I like reptiles since I was a kid. I've done it for a long time, but like I said, if it's something you enjoy, go ahead and do it. I mean, just take the time. Don't jump in headlong, because you'll be disappointed if you start going crazy. So if I wasted $20,000 in this, not really wasting it, but you spent $20,000, it's going to take you a while to get that money back. I mean, if that's what you plan on doing and you know for a fact, do it. I mean, when I first started, I put about $10,000 into it, and I put a lot more than that over time. But it's a grind. But once you get to the place where you're starting to pump out snakes, and you're getting different morphs, and you can start, like these ones, when I first started out, I had like hets, and now I'm starting to get visuals, and now I'm getting visual with visual hets, visual with a het, second het, and it's starting to really change for me. But it was I had to climb my way up, and there's people that have been doing this longer than me, and they started from nothing. Watch this gentleman, I don't remember his name, on Justin Kaboka. He was interviewing him, and how he started out with one gene, and he kind of came from a poor family, and now he can actually buy things and stuff, but it didn't happen overnight. He climbed his way up. So if you're willing to put the time in, if you're willing to invest time, money, and your life, it'll pay out for you. And what I'm saying is, like, even down the road, say these snakes are only worth $200 to $300 a piece, someone's going to want them. But it's something that if you're looking for a quick return, this is not for you. So that's my 2 cents. I don't know everything. I'm obviously not been doing this forever, but I'm very confident in what I've done so far and what I've come across. I haven't really sold snakes statewide yet, because I haven't produced enough to actually do that. I mostly sell them locally right now, but I mean, that's why I'm doing YouTube. I'm kind of got to the place where I can actually start going beyond my local area, and I can start doing morph market. I've had a membership forever. I never actually sold them because I never had to. But besides local shows and here in town. But like I said, it's a climb, and if you're willing to do it, do it. I mean, go for it. But it's a lifelong commitment. Costs a lot of money to start up. Do it for the love, and prepare to do a lot of hard work. Thank you, everybody.